Welcome to the Built Different podcast. Let's get it. Welcome everybody to the Built Different podcast. This is episode 2 of Off the Backboard. I'm your host Thomas Saxby, T-Sax the God, Saxby TV, the whitest man talking basketball today. I'm with Slat. Slat has 2 T's, Mac 12303, and V-Man, Ricky Tan hit him over the head with a pan.
Okay.
What is up, guys? How's everybody doing this week?
Doing good.
Funny story. I think when I was in like 4th grade, I was coming out the nurse's office because I had a bloody nose, and my mom actually hit me with a pan by accident. And it just restarted my nose to bleed all over again. She was talking to the nurse, and like, you know how, like, I was walking close to her. Obviously, I was smaller than her. She like turned.
His mom is a very nice lady.
She's a very nice
Bro, I felt like I was gonna die. Anyway,
Why did she have a pan while you were at school?
All right, well,
nah, because all right. Nah, that was kind of a, she was running the bake sale at my school at the time, so she was already in the school. You feel me? Nah. She was already in the school.
And everyone standing around was just like. All right, Matt. Well, what's on your mind? What's on the top of your mind, man?
So we got a good rookie class. I feel like this year, and second overall pick, right? Chet Holmgren, my boy, just caught a season-ending injury to his foot. He's already a fragile, big guy, skinny as can be. Foot injuries to big guys.
Tragedy.
Didn't see that coming.
Oh no, you called it.
Tragedy, but not unforeseen.
Yeah, we all called there was probably going to be injury proneness to him. I was just not expecting a pro-am game off season before he even got to training camp.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
I really hope that doesn't make the NBA owners come down on the players and ban them from playing and stuff like that.
That's a fact.
Because this is actually going to set the Thunder back a great deal.
OD.
So, yeah.
I mean,
Well, I also feel like as a rookie, my take on this, it might be a little bit of a hot take, but I honestly don't think rookies should be doing that yet. Doing all the summer extra games just because they're out of college and now they got the time. I feel like they should take a season to get into that. Get into some NBA training because they got to get used to that schedule. And they're sitting here just playing game after game every single week. Either way, if he would have came out of this healthy, he would have went into the season with all these miles on his legs already, not have the NBA body that he needs, and he probably would have gotten injured anyway. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Pro-am or not. So I agree. I hope it doesn't get taken away. But at the same time, I feel like rookies should be integrated a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time I watch him play, I'm just scared he's gonna break.
The team should just be more got more of a leash on them as far as the rookie year, making sure they're hitting the gym, getting reps in, but in the facility more or less, not just out.
And that's the thing, though. If he does ever get an NBA body, he's gonna be elite.
Yeah,
I'm not
if he
gonna
gets
lie.
a Paolo Banchero,
he's very talented.
He gets a Paolo Banchero
he's
body
definitely
type,
very talented.
It's clipped because he's got skills.
Because they're and it's like we've seen this. I mean, the one thing that I think that besides being, I guess, selfish, but the one thing that's really held Kevin Durant back has been his body, if we're being honest.
What?
He's had a lot of major injuries at the complete wrong time. I mean, one that you can think of is when he was on the Warriors. Maybe if he doesn't get injured, they beat the living hell out of the Raptors. I think there was one specific foot injury when he was with the Thunder that completely derailed their season.
Grizzly series.
I mean,
and then with the Nets now, I mean, I truly believe if Kevin Durant had been healthy for those seasons that the big three were together, I believe that would have inclined Harden to be a little bit more motivated to stay in shape.
One total whole season.
And Kyrie maybe is forced to get the vaccine. I don't know because they're playing so
he would have
good.
never gotten that shit.
But-
He would have.
Like-
But my top take on the Nets is my top take on the day is just gonna have to do with the Nets. I mean, I'm really glad that they're staying together. I mean, easily Kevin Durant and Kyrie could have been traded, could have shaken up the league. You know, you guys know I'm a huge fan of messy situations. But in this situation, I'm glad they stayed together.
Toxic situations.
As we're gonna talk about from last season, newsflash, this episode's gonna be about last season. We're gonna talk about the Nets and the Lakers. I really just want to see that in the finals. I'm a simp. I gotta see it. I gotta see Ben Simmons, Kyrie, and KD handling the finals media pressure. I gotta see LeBron
God.
with all that pressure again, and Westbrook with that pressure. And yeah, go ahead, V man, hit him with your take because I'm getting horny.
First of all, Westbrook's not going to be on the team. He is not going to be on the team, and that is fairly evident due to the new acquisition of the Los Angeles Lakers. Patrick Beverley. There is no way Russ is staying on this team now. I
Those two would be
100%.
like two pit bulls in the dog.
They literally just traded for Russ's biggest op. And like, if that doesn't say we want you out more than anything, then I don't know what does. So I'm fully expecting the trade that I'm looking forward next to is the Pacers deal. I firmly believe we're going to take the Pacers deal.
Get some Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, maybe.
That would actually complete our starting five.
What?
So-
You don't fuck with that deal, Thomas?
Honestly, the deal it's definitely more of a like this is like the real inside the deal now. That's like the face value of it. That's what the Lakers did and the story behind it. But now the actual deal itself. I actually liked Stanley Johnson. I did.
Yeah. Good
We were a
defensive
shit show last year. So we got to see all the guys play. We got to see all the guys play. And he's actually not bad.
He's a good little greedy guy off
In
the
terms
bench.
of, THT for Pat Bev, obviously it's better for our team now. But
Right
again,
now.
THT is definitely younger than Pat Bev. The Lakers didn't get any younger with this trade, which was another one of the problems that they had. But I think in terms of the LeBron era Lakers, this was definitely a step in the right direction.
Especially just because it's a tell sign that Russell Westbrook is even more of a 1 foot out the door, probably. Just so that means more changes to come. Right now, changes can only be good.
And
because we
man,
had such a
fuck
bad
it,
year
it's
last
Pat
year.
Bev. It's Pat Bev. You just gotta love Pat Bev. In the words of my man's Quan Chi, Pat Bev. Pat Bev.
What's your take on it, bro?
I mean, for what V-Man said, I mean, if you look at this trade in one way, yeah, it makes sense. If you look at it in another way, I don't think anyone could talk about making the Lakers younger or anything because THT is a bag of dicks, regardless, in my opinion. I mean, I think he had some lightning in a bottle. I mean, playing around LeBron will do that too. You'll have your flash in the pan games. They'll catch a lot of media attention. But I think and this could easily be a cold take. I could easily look stupid at the end of the year. But I think THT's career, it's been as exciting as it's ever going to be.
To be fair, I honestly am not a big fan of THT either. I never really seen the hype around him that everybody was throwing out there.
He had very high potential of a 3D player, not of a star, all-star.
But we already had KCP.
Exactly.
So
But that's literally all his hype was because he had really long wingspan for his height, really long. But
he can't even shoot like that.
He doesn't have the defensive instincts or IQ, and his shot is broken.
I'm hoping that Patrick Beverley, while being on the Lakers, dials it down just a little bit. Because when I think about the fact that Anthony Davis is going to need to stay healthy all year and LeBron James is going to need to stay healthy all year,
Yep.
Pat Bev is that kind of guy that's going to piss off a lot of people. And he's going to also be going after the star players on the other teams. So if you think the other teams aren't going to come after LeBron and AD,
Yeah.
I hope they're ready for that. On
But
top of
but
that,
that's
you're
the
adding.
thing.
You guys are trying to get away from the toxic culture, but you're adding more to it. It's just,
Bro, but that's the thing. It's like with Pat Bev, you kind of get a mini Draymond Green effect. Like, you don't look at Draymond Green and say, don't go at the other team. No matter what it brings to Stephen Clay. It always brings it to Stephen Clay.
That's a fact.
But
we can.
you can't.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, we're wild. All right.
Yeah,
we're
all three of
OD.
us is
Welcome back.
crazy.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm gonna give an opinion here about the Heat. Not a lot of people are gonna like it. Not a lot of people are gonna like it at all.
Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Here we
Uh-oh.
go.
Bobby, bitch.
But for the past couple of years, and listen, I love Jimmy Butler. You guys know I'm a fan of his game. I love the underdog stuff. I gotta take the glasses off for this too.
Oh, let's get
I've
serious.
never looked at this roster once. Never looked at this roster once, even with the addition of Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. I never looked
It
at
was
this
overrated.
roster once and said that this roster was a finals contending, finals winning roster. I've always thought that, and it's a big testament to Eric Spoelstra. It's a big testament to
Hell yeah.
Eric Spoelstra. How far he's been able to juice these teams, because I'm not going to lie, it got exposed many times in the playoffs. I just think they took advantage of their opponents that they were facing. There was often times where they just didn't even belong on the court. And you saw that a lot in the Celtics series too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were getting shot out the
agreed.
building.
So, I mean, as a 1 seed, great. Are they going to go down as one of the worst 1 seeds of all time? No. Are they going to go down as a 1 seed that we remember? Also, no. So, that's my opinion on the Heat. But when it comes to the Suns, I think that was a huge, huge disappointment. But it was one that we all saw coming.
For sure.
Maybe not in the second round, but we also.
Oh, well, not in the second round. But
By
we
Luka.
all saw that was the eventual demise. That we're going to talk about that. That was amazing to see. But when it comes to the Suns, I just think they don't got the dog in them. I
No.
mean, Devin Booker, he has the dog in him at the wrong time.
DeAndre Ayton is soft.
Soft
Gonna
as
say
hell.
that. Soft.
Jesus, bro. I've never
Michael
seen, bro.
Bridges got a little
Bridges-
dog on the defensive end, but
A little, but like, is he someone that like you're really just
I'm just
No.
unafraid of him.
top defensive player? But
unafraid.
no, that's what I'm
is
saying. Like,
tough.
He's just annoying more than anything. Like,
Damn.
and Luka still got his. I mean, the star still gets theirs at the end of the day. So I mean, realistically, yeah, no, I'm not scared of that guy either. So when it comes to that, I mean, I liked seeing the Celtics dig all the way to get the second seed.
Hell
I
yeah.
think the Bucks should have pushed a little bit more for the second seed, because honestly, I think at the end of the day, the second seed was, the winning seed for the East. It was the best path, in my opinion, because I feel like if just a little bit different, I think we're looking at the Bucks in the finals. But yeah, V-Man, what's your opinion? We are the Suns.
yeah.
I can't sit here with a straight face and just give them a pass, man.
Yeah,
That was
bro.
horrible.
Oh, not at
bro.
all. They don't deserve a pass.
Fraudulent activity. Like I was saying, bro. Both of them, bro. Like, well, all right. The Heat, they weren't as much of a disappointment as the Suns were. Like, at least the Heat went down with fight.
Lot of fight too.
Hell
The Suns just went
One
down
shot away.
and just went down. Like, I knew that they were done when they had struggled against the Pelicans in the first round. Like, they actually looked very, very bad against them. And I knew it was going to be a problem going forward. I didn't think the problem was going to come with Dallas, though. Like, I knew Luka was still going to give him a problem. I knew he was still going to give him a problem, but I thought that they would do at least a better
Luka
job
wasn't
than
even
everybody
there
else
that
around them.
series.
Like, you letting Jalen Brunson do what he did is inexcusable. You letting
Dropping
Spencer
40 points
Dinwiddie
out
do what
here.
he did. You let Maxi Kleber. He was wildin', bro. Maxi
Stretch
Kleber was
fake.
wildin'. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever he shot the ball well, they usually took off on them.
That's a fact.
It's getting to a real dangerous point where Luka is doing something that we don't normally see from some of these other stars to be, and that's his ability to make his teammates better. I think he's really starting to truly understand that, and that is making him very dangerous. If the Mavs can up their talent, like just maybe upgrades in a couple spots,
Yeah, that's
they're
why.
going to be. They're
Get
going to
consistent shooters around him and some
Yeah, that's
defenders.
why I
He's
actually.
good, bro.
That's why I actually like the addition of Christian Wood that they made in the offseason. I think he'll pan out pretty all right for him.
And listen, man, there's no way that there should ever be a prop on FanDuel that says, will Maxi Kleba make 10 threes? that sentence should have never even...
Yeah, bro.
Yes.
Yeah,
10?
yeah. He
I
was.
think it was that night he hit 6.
Yeah, he was wilding.
But 10 is crazy.
That's what I'm
10
saying.
is
I should never see that ever. That should not be something that crosses my screen.
Bro, he got. It was just
10 is
how he got the
bananas.
6. He got the 6 mad fast.
But yeah, so when it comes to that second seed in the East, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the 76ers all tied for it. I mean, that just goes to show you, every game is important. Because honestly, if let's say the 76ers get a hold of that second seed, they have an easier path. James Harden gets a little bit more rest. Joel Embiid, maybe the scenario plays out differently and he doesn't get injured in the playoffs. So anything different, I believe it could have been a whole different story. But the Celtics earned it. They earned that second
They
seed. They fought
earned
for it.
that
They got
shit.
it.
Yeah.
Because at the All-Star break, they were looking abysmal. And from there on, they were
Yeah.
bugging.
Now those Bulls, though.
The biggest frauds all season.
Nah,
Biggest frauds all
nah.
season. I know what I
think
just
you
said
guys
about
are
the Suns.
wildin'.
I know what I just said about the Suns and the Heat, but the Chicago Bulls were definitely the biggest frauds of the season.
I don't think
Biggest
so.
fraud of the season
Bro,
is
I
going
feel
to
like-
the Chicago. But well, who's your biggest fraud of the season then, Matt?
The Suns, 100%. And the Lakers. Because they started off the season with such high expectations.
But that's the
no,
thing. The
bro.
Lakers did that every season, though. Like, the last 3 seasons, the Lakers started off with high expectations. And we actually lost out pretty much due to injury and not just because we suck. We did suck,
Yeah.
but it was more largely due to injury than us
100%,
sucking.
100%, but
Pause.
Yeah,
the
pause.
Bulls,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah. But the Bulls, bro, they were a great team before 3 defenders got injured. Then couldn't do shit. 3 defenders and their main playmaker.
Bro, this is
So,
a
like, it's
But
just
they all
like
came back. I mean,
this
they
is
came back at the very last few weeks of the season.
well, a lot
this
of them
is
come back,
this is
but-
a real stat for the Chicago Bulls last season. Do you know
Yeah.
that they won 1 game against top 3 teams of both conferences all season,
Yeah.
and it came against the Bucks in the playoffs after they lost Chris Middleton? If that's not fraudulent activity, I don't know what is.
They were beating it. I
mean,
never
they-
thought they were supposed to be a 3 seed. They finished right where I figured they would at the beginning of the season.
Dude, I mean, they were 19 and 22 on the road. I mean, like when you're 27 and 14 at home, all you can look at is just how big of a disappointment is. They're my biggest disappointment because
I didn't have a high expectation for them, so I don't. They're not.
Matt,
frauds to me.
you're right. I mean, I got to give more credit to the injuries that they had, but at the same time, when it came down to the playoffs, you got a beaten Bucks team, a battered Bucks team without Middleton. Yeah, they're still good, but obviously we see what Middleton meant to Milwaukee. and meant to
Milwaukee
that
still
team.
had the best, by far the best player on the court. By far.
And you had,
But that's-
and you had Zach LaVine shooting them out of games. You had DeMar DeRozan not
Zach
stepping
LaVine
up.
had
So
never
now-
been to a playoff game before.
My thing about what you just said,
Zach
Matt,
LaVine,
is
that's his first playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
you said that Milwaukee still by far had the best player on the court. Like, give me a series that the Bulls would have played in this playoffs that they would have had the best player on the court.
Exactly. So I didn't.
They would have
expect
never
them-
had the best player on the
I
court.
didn't expect them to win anything. I expected them to be a first round exit this year around 45 wins at the beginning of the season. That's where I expected them. So I never had a high ceiling for them. So that's why they're not a fraud team or a disappointment to me. This is right where I had them.
I mean, my thing is like you're the Clippers, you're Clippers fans. You're expecting to be the team of LA, and honestly, this year the team of LA didn't even matter. Like, I mean,
LA was a dark city this year. LA was Gotham.
and at the same time, why I say it's a disappointment is because at the end of the day, Paul George is a superstar, and
Top
he
15 player in the
really
league.
they had two chances to get into the playoff.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And they couldn't do it. And you look at the Suns; they were beatable. They're a deep team, and believe it or
They
not,
are
they
a
were
deep
one of
team,
the
man.
better defensive teams.
Yeah.
And this year they're even they're even deeper, bro. Like they're a good. This
Yeah.
upcoming year, they're like a third best title favorite in Vegas or some shit.
It
They're
really comes down to what version of John Wall they get.
They don't need a crazy scoring John Wall. They need a dude who's gonna pass and defend.
That's the thing, though. They need an efficient John Wall. John Wall hasn't been one of the most efficient players over his career. But if he can up his numbers to around 50% shooting, because he's, mid-40s now?
Yeah.
If he can move up to at least 50% shooting, give him around 15 points a game, maybe six.
Yeah, I was gonna say
between
13
6
to
and 8
15
assists,
points.
they're good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't
100%.
really have to shoot threes, OD or nothing. Just know when to drive to the rim, get some easy middies or layups, and just facilitate your ass off. That's all he needs to do.
Tell him, I'll give you 16 shots a game, just make eight of them. Give me 16
Yeah.
points.
Dude, Clippers
That's cool.
fans on every possession are just going to be sitting there like,
Yeah, because you got three
Feels like-
injury-prone ass players in your starting lineup.
John Wall, Paul George, and Kawhi. Oh
Yeah.
my God, dude! I would be so nervous. as a
Talk
Clippers
about
fan.
glass cannons.
That's a fact.
So, what about, speaking of, I think this is a good time to open the can of beans. The Nets and the Lakers. So,
Yes, sir.
going into the season, we saw the Facebook post, we saw the Instagram post, we saw the TikToks, we saw all the posters, we saw all the media beef, we saw everything. It was going to be the Lakers and the Nets all year. Kevin Durant was going to put the Nets on his back. LeBron was going to put the Lakers on his back. Instead, we got two raging, very underwhelming disasters where it was kind of like the whole season NBA fans and then the fans of the Nets and Lakers were toyed with literally the whole time, because the Nets were just hanging in there and the Lakers were just hanging in there. Nets at many points in the season, they're going to have Kyrie, Harden, and KD all on the court at the same time. That never happens. On the Lakers side, we're going to get all three healthy and playing at the same time. That never happens. And then when it does happen, it's not what anyone expected it to be, because Anthony Davis was still, you could tell he's playing hurt at that point.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, Matt,
I mean,
talk to us.
like I said a little bit ago, I came into this season, wasn't a fan of the acquisition of Westbrook. Would have rather gone elsewhere. I knew AD did not have a healthy summer, so he was coming back without a good rep summer. He wasn't getting his workout in. He wasn't getting his physical training in. He wasn't doing none of that. So I came into this season, I didn't expect it to be this bad. I had the Lakers as like a 6 seed right out of the play-in tournament. Like, I did not have us going far into the playoffs or anything. I had us as like a 6 seed, second round exit. Didn't think the team was going to mesh at all with LeBron and Westbrook, because Westbrook is low-key a mini, very inefficient, crazy LeBron. Wants to go hyper fast, wants to just get the ball out, isn't a high-volume shooter. LeBron is, but LeBron just does it fucking better. Westbrook is dirt. No offense, Westbrook, love you. No, I don't. Anyway, I just didn't see much
This was this
upside.
man's favorite point guard back in the day.
6 years ago, yes. Thunder Russ, I loved you. I just didn't see much upside for this team. I didn't. So, Nets, on the other hand, though, I thought they were going all the way. My two finals predictions, it was Bucks and Suns or Nets and Suns. And I thought the Nets, if they stayed healthy, they had a good, solid team around them. They had vets. They had, Claxton was a good, young, up-and-coming center. I thought they had a little team going for them, but that shit the bed bad. My son James Harden was struggling when he was on the court, but that was few and far between because he was injured a lot. Kyrie said, "I'm out of here." Wasn't playing no games. KD was really trying to bring the whole team to the playoffs by himself, and it just was a bad look. Bad look for New York and LA this year.
Yeah, for me, it was just like, it's mad misfortunate on both ends. In the beginning of the year, pretty much the promise of, the Nets and Lakers finals. And honestly, it really could have turned out that way. As far off from it as we was, it really wasn't as far as it seems. Like, if you really look, if we go back to the beginning of the season, like with no prior knowledge of what was about to happen, we wouldn't even think twice to say it again. And like, cause it's like Tom said, the West, if you looked at it, it was beatable. Like, you can see it. Like,
there's no clear favorite.
Right, there's no real clear favorite, especially going into the season. You're thinking that we're gonna have Anthony Davis healthy all the time. Boom, 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 boom. If he is healthy, we're a completely different team. If he's healthy, we make the playoffs. You never know what happens. Boom. That also goes into the effect of, the chemistry with everybody and us never really able. We actually switched starting lineups more than any team in the league this year. So
it reminded me of the 2012 Lakers, bro.
Yeah, and it was like, Frank Vogel is a horrible coach. I hated every second of him coaching my basketball team. And it was just...
That's tough.
Bro... Honestly, the coaching on both ends, Steve Nash is not the job for the Nets. They need to honor KD's request and get him the hell up out of there.
Nope.
Well, they should. And if I was KD, I would have stuck to my word and said, I'm not stepping back in this facility until he's gone. Because he's garbage. I'm not... Yeah, I wouldn't deal with that. Me, personally, I wouldn't deal with that. But yeah, the Lakers side was more, both sides had chemistry issues just because of different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? The Lakers' chemistry issues came from, obviously, us not having a solid rotation, the injuries, boom. And on the Nets side, obviously, you got the Kyrie situation. KD went down for a little while. The eventual departure of James Harden.
Simmons.
Now you gotta put new pieces together and try to mesh, so it was kind of like done on the fly. And even still, they still almost did it. Not almost, because they got swept, but you know what I mean. But then again, like you said, it's another what if, because it's like, all right, what if Kyrie got the vaccine? What if Kevin Durant never would have gotten hurt? Because before he was hurt, he had him sitting at number 1 in the East. So it's like,
yeah, they did start off the season hot.
Right. What would have happened if all those things would have fell in line? We very easily could have been sitting here looking at a Lakers-Nets finals. But it just didn't pan out that way. But now it's kind of like, I'm starting to see it now. The league is definitely getting a lot younger. And it's like, I feel like we're just following the players of our era of basketball.
I was going to bring that up a little bit later, too. Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit.
Even though it's kind of like, it doesn't really look that way because the Warriors won, obviously, Steph Curry being another player from our generation. But still, like, the young guys, they're definitely coming. They're coming up for sure. And it won't be long until the players of our generation are of no more title contention again. Like,
I mean, yeah, we're already starting to see LeBron's effect on the game.
They're
not really, be as meaningful. For his team, yeah, he'll score a bunch of points, he'll be out there, but it's not really holding as much weight anymore as it used to.
Yeah, it's not
Same with KD.
It's not as impactful.
Yeah, 100%. All right, Tommy, what you got for us?
All I know is that my neighbors are fighting or rumbling upstairs. It's pretty entertaining. There's some background noise. It's disappointing. I think the NBA really got robbed of this matchup that could have been the Nets and the Lakers. I mean, we still get another chance at it, but it's not going to be what we intended it to be because, Westbrook's final days as a Laker is probably upon us.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden was already traded. So that full matchup of LeBron, Westbrook, and AD going against KD, Ben Simmons, or KD, Kyrie, and James Harden.
Already taken from us.
Is it gonna happen?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to see, though. It would have been so amazing seeing Kyrie, KD, and James Harden push for the ring that really, matters for all of them. And then see LeBron in another scenario where, he's just like fucking, just turning into like God mode, and Anthony Davis is doing his thing, and Westbrook is going against KD, and, Kyrie versus LeBron. And,
It would have just been
New
a
York
dream
versus
finals.
LA, and
Dream
Yeah.
finals.
That probably would have been the most that probably would have been the most intelligent brand of basketball anybody's ever watched in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Since probably the Spurs and Heat
Like,
finals.
The high basketball IQ plays
yeah.
would be insane in that finals. Just because, like Thomas said, like everybody on the net side is playing for that one ring that solidifies all of them.
Yeah.
James Harden looking for his first, KD looking for that one that's like, yeah, Kyrie winning without Bron. But then you got Bron on the other side. This is Bron's missing piece. If Bron ends up with another championships, he's undoubtedly the GOAT, and I know he knows that.
Yeah.
I know he knows that. So it's like, this is his
And
missing.
then
And
Russell Westbrook getting it.
Russ
over
getting his
KD.
first, Melo getting his first,
Oh shit! Yeah, Melo
Anthony Davis,
So to
obviously.
quickly-
go ahead.
solidifying
And to
that
quickly
he's a
bounce
top
off
power
of that,
forward.
And to quickly bounce off of that so that I can quickly get through the Lakers, because I don't want to spend much more time talking about the disappointing Lakers of last year.
Damn son.
The Knicks were no better.
But,
Facts.
exactly.
Facts.
And we're going to talk about that in a
I
second.
mean, they were 4 games
But
better, but
on the side of the Lakers, that's the thing. It's like LeBron knows that, and Russell Westbrook also knows that that was probably his final chance. This is the confusing part. Russell Westbrook knows that was probably his best shot at a championship, was
Easily.
playing next
For
to
certain.
LeBron
Easily.
on the Lakers. Anthony Davis knows that he has a lot to prove, and he's already proven to us that he cares about what the media thinks on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
So he can't sit here and say that he doesn't care. And then you have LeBron, and he's trying to get that ring to solidify himself as a GOAT. But at the same time, we never saw the intensity from the Lakers. We never saw the urgency. We never saw the... It was disappointing. It was definitely very disappointing.
Pat Bev is about to change all that.
bring some energy. Just
He's
bring
about
some
to
energy.
change all
That's
that.
all we need. In the locker room, bring some energy. On the court,
gonna
bring
be
some
like-
energy.
Take Westbrook and his badass attitude, ship that nigga off to the Shanghai Sharks, and give us
Son in
Patrick
a
Beverly,
press-
and we're gonna be
Son
great.
Westbrook in a press conference said, "I didn't have much expectation for this year. Get him the fuck out of here." I mean, neither did
But
I,
when we
but it's
talk-
because of him.
And then when we talk about the Nets, it's like V-Man said, KD did have them in first. On top of that, KD was putting up 30 points a game and shooting almost 60%. He was
Yeah,
on
he
his
was
way
bugging.
towards a historic season.
He was bugging.
Not
It
for
is-
nothing.
it's-
I actually have sources for this. KD was actually my pick for MVP last season before he got hurt. Like before the season even
Oh, I
started.
remember-
Yeah.
Before the season even started, I picked KD to win the MVP.
I remember hearing you say that.
Yeah.
Or seeing you a
And
post about
it was unfortunate because you sit here and think of the games that Kyrie did play when they let him play in games that he could. He was dropping buckets.
Oh, he was when
Oh,
he came
for
back.
sure.
When he came back,
He was a demon.
Oh my god,
He was a demon.
He was
Sucks
like
to
40
see.
points here, 50 points here, 38 points here, 40 points at another spot. He was bugging.
60. Like what?
At one point in the season, James Harden was giving us flashes that he can still do his
For
thing.
sure.
Because there was, I believe, at one point he won, I think, a couple Eastern Conference players of the week or something.
Yeah,
like that.
he actually held it down for a little while KD was out. That was when Kyrie was part time.
Yeah.
So it was just a whole bunch of unfortunate madness.
Yeah.
It sucked. It really sucked to see because it was like, come on, like we want to. I genuinely, it was the same way I felt about the Warriors. I like when all these good players pair together because it's beautiful basketball to see. And we're just, we never really got to see too much of it.
Still weak.
So yeah, it was definitely big disappointing. I mean, the Knicks suck. So the
Yeah, no, it was
Knicks, it was just unfortunate.
it was bad for both of these states of New York and LA. It was tough.
Yeah.
The two biggest franchises money wise in the league. Knicks and Lakers.
And
then that's
when it comes to the Knicks, it's like we have. It was such a wasted year because we had the formula. It was literally just make sure Julius Randle isn't the one touching the ball the most. Just change that, and the Knicks are okay.
But he did the year before where they made it to the playoffs. He was the one touching the ball.
Right, but that wasn't going to work for so long because once teams figured him out,
so they
he was
didn't
figured
have
out.
the formula because they never tested one that worked.
It's like
No, but I'm saying that was literally the formula was to get a point guard that can pass because R.J. Barrett needed it. He needed to be spaced
they should
across
have got
the floor.
Lonzo. They should have put out a package for Lonzo in a sign and trade. Because that would have been perfect.
So when
I see that.
my thing was that like you kind of just looked at that and you just got Kemba Walker, and you just ran.
Well,
with
because
it.
they put all their bad
And then-
eggs in the Kyle Lowry basket.
man, what the hell happened to that guy?
Who?
Kemba. Yeah. Why does he suck
Sometimes
now?
you-
Like
Injury, bro.
I feel like it was kind of just going from a very irrelevant situation in Charlotte to go into a very relevant situation in Boston, and he just
He was putting up very crazy
collapsed.
empty numbers
like
in
bro.
Charlotte.
Like I was actually a
And then
fan of
because
that
he's
guy.
faced- yeah, because he's faced that pressure before in UConn, but
Like step
You're also
back to
going-
win the
you're also-
national championship. That's
You're also
crazy.
going against a lot lesser tier talent.
But we had that similar player. Like we had Quickly, we had Derrick Rose, we had.
Yeah, you guys didn't have a pure
Alec
point.
Burks.
You didn't have a pure point at all.
We just had a bunch of guys that could run, shoot the three. We needed that guy to facilitate the offense, and it's just it was a wasted year. And Tom Thibodeau just didn't. He just let everything. At one point you got to look at Julius Randle and tell him to stop being a bitch.
Yeah.
No one ever did that. It was just pressure through the media. If I'm Tom Thibodeau, I'm like, sit your ass down. You're the leader of this fucking team. Now lead because this is still a good team.
With him, it's just like he's a very he's a weird player, man. Like if his team loses, but he put up a crazy stat line, he's hyped. If his team wins and he has a bad stat line, he's tight. He only cares about himself. He doesn't care about the team.
The thing about Julius Randle is he's not a number one.
Should
You
never bet
can't treat him like a number one because he's not a number one. If I'm the Knicks, RJ should be my number one.
RJ should get the ball in
100%.
his hands a lot more.
To be honest with you, I would even put Randle at number 3 and make Quickly my number 2, if that's what it took.
To get it into his fucking head.
And that's my issue was that last year we saw that Quickly.
I was just about to say,
Or the
Quickly
year
can
before
actually
last
do it. Like he has that in him.
But he just wasn't used. It just kept it. It would be a thing with, and I hate the way Tom Thibodeau ran it this year. But it was a thing where if you performed good, you got to stay in the lineup, and if you just weren't performing, you stayed out.
He was playing. No offense to Quentin Grimes, I actually like Quentin Grimes as a player. If he gets a lot of minutes somewhere, I think he could be really good. But he was putting Quentin Grimes in the lineup a lot more than Quickly at some points towards the late year, and I'm like, keep Quickly in the game, bro. Like, why are you taking him out?
Yeah.
And that's exactly my thing. Is like Quickly has shown before last season when we were winning that he can be a functioning point guard.
100%.
But how can a player like him or Cam Reddish develop any
He didn't give Cam no
consistency?
Yo,
stretch.
I forgot
just-
that you guys had Cam Reddish.
He didn't give
That's a
Cam
shame.
That's
no
my issue.
stretch.
That's a
that-
shame.
How can those two, or Obi Toppin is another good example, how can they gain consistency?
He
if you're
gave
constantly
Obi-
not
he
gonna
gave
give them
Obi some
minutes
stretch at the
because
end
they
of the year.
struggle for one game.
Oh,
He did Quickly too, but it was too late.
Yeah.
We were like tied for that play-in spot for a long time before we actually lost it.
This is the thing, though. I feel like the Knicks, they're not. You could look at them. Obviously, they're not dead yet. They actually have a lot. Like they can
they
get
have
a lot
a good
for
young
what they
core
have.
and everything. Hell yeah.
Like
Hell yeah.
if I'm them though, I'm definitely gonna try to run with Obi Toppin and Emmanuel Quickly. I'll definitely flip the hell out of Julius Randle. Just get him out of here.
It's just what's his value?
Yeah,
right now? What are
now
you
you're
gonna get
just
back
trying
for
to look for the best available package for him.
A team is probably going to want you to put some of those young pieces around him to give you anything, and it's just like
And we're gonna get into this in the next episode. I'm actually
off season and stuff.
as much as the draft sucked as a Knicks fan, I'm kind of glad that we got Brunson and we didn't really change anything else yet, so that we could possibly see how it works, and we didn't, simp for Mitchell or KD or do anything crazy. Because I do think the Knicks, we have a good team, and if Quickly and Toppin are going to be bench players again as a 6 and 7, that's crazy. And then you have a returning Derrick Rose, you got Fournier still in the picture. Oh, Jericho Sims he's a dog. He comes in and doesn't score a damn point, but he gets you 12 rebounds in like 5 minutes. It's nice to see. But listen, the Kings suck.
Yeah, just threw bad shade at the Kings for what?
Holy shit! I did not see that coming. Son just hit him with it.
Them motherfuckers, man. Them motherfuckers just out there ruining all the talent they touch.
Bro, like...
I'm low-key happy Halliburton, they got rid of Halliburton.
The Kings really just be having the bag and they just blow it. Like they literally had the bag. Marvin Bagley, they had the bag and blew it. Like...
I'm not high on Marvin Bagley.
Bro... I don't understand how you're not even playing him. How is he not getting minutes?
Yeah, they the first 25, 30
crazy,
games, they
bro.
weren't giving him any minutes. But given that, I'm not high on him, but you gotta play him. You got, especially contract year, you gotta play him. You got
coming out of college, he was a scrappy, well-centered player. You could easily turn that into something, but you put it on the Kings, it's gonna fucking suck.
Yeah, Kings literally have no player development whatsoever. And if you can just get somebody to make sure he works on his post, finishes, what's the word I'm looking for? Perfect his post moves, and then just get a little bit of an outside jumper, he would be a phenomenal player. Yes, his defense is not there, but as far as an offensive player, if you just perfect some of the things he's okay at, he would be a good player in this league. But I'm just not too high on him because of his defensive lack of defense.
It sucks. Dude, so much fucking talent has passed through these guys.
Yeah, bro.
And on the flip side of that as well.
Even right now, you can look at this team and it's like, wow, that's a talented team with De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Sabonis.
But low-key, Sabonis
Davion Mitchell is my guy.
He's a dog.
I like Davion
dog.
Mitchell. It's the Sacramento Kings. Why are we putting so much thought into the Sacramento Kings? No matter what.
Because they sucked for too long.
No matter what, they're going to be the Sacramento Kings.
I'm keeping it a stack. We shitted on Chris Webber when we were on our last episode when we said Tim Duncan had no competition at the power forward. Chris Webber was a dog back in those days, and we did not bring him up whatsoever. Shout out to Chris Webber because we smoked you. Sorry. We were smoking everybody last
Chris
episode.
Webber, if you're hearing this,
don't give me that
still
look.
Stick with what I said last
Don't give me
week.
that look.
Matt apologizes. I don't.
Chris Webber was a dog.
I don't.
Chris Webber was a dog.
Don't. Come on, man.
He got smoked by the Lakers.
Are you really gonna politic about Chris Webber? That's the best you got.
Webber
That's the best you got, bro. That's the best you got.
All right. On to. Oh, there he is. Was he going?
Sorry, man. You were spewing a whole lot of bullshit. Sometimes you just gotta leave toxic situations.
I feel you. So, how about we get to these awards? Keep it a stack.
Let's go through them real quick.
All right, name them out.
So, Monty Williams wins Coach of the Year.
I don't give a fuck about the
Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock wins the social.
He won an award.
Social Justice Award, bro.
The Grizzlies
it's a
executive
very good
won.
award. Very good award.
Zach Kleiman, who's 33. Damn, that guy's getting to it. He won Executive of the Year. Patty Mills won NBA Sportsmanship Award. Drew Holiday won the Teammate of the Year.
Bro, get to the real awards.
I don't know how he could win that award.
Get to the main awards. Get to the main awards. Come on.
All right.
What are we doing?
All right. So Marcus Smart won the Hustle Award. No, I'm kidding. All right. So Monty Williams won Coach of the Year. Marcus Smart wins Defensive Player of the Year. Tyler Hero wins Sixth Man of the Year. Ja Morant wins NBA Most Improved Player. Scotty Barnes, your boy, Scotty Barnes, Rookie of the Year.
Scotty too hottie.
Jokic wins his second MVP award in a row, and Devin Booker, Luka
Bullshit.
Doncic, Jason Tatum, Giannis, and Jokic were first team for All NBA, and the All Defensive first team was Giannis, Bridges, Gobert, Jaren Jackson, and Marcus Smart.
All right.
So let's talk about Coach of the Year. That would be a quick one. I think it was well deserved.
Yeah,
I think obviously looking in the playoffs as well, that Monty Williams really did play a huge part in them during the regular season. Had a good system, well flowing. It fell apart in the playoffs, but I do think that was well.
The players
deserved.
fell apart in the playoffs. Like, you can only coach so far. The players aren't even gonna just, bro. That game 7, they were not hitting anything, bro. They were, each player was like 1 for 6 and 1 for 8 and like 2 for 12. Like, bro, it was so bad at one point. Like,
Yeah, it's
you can
justified.
only coach so much. Yeah, you only can coach so much.
The coach of the year is justified. It's a 61 team. Not really much more to say about that. Me personally,
Yeah,
though, I probably would have gave it to Eric Spoelstra, just considering the fact that you got the number 1 seed in the tougher conference.
It was a tough. Yeah, East was a tougher conference this year, but 11 more wins.
I say it's a 61 team, so you kind of
64
have to.
wins over 53. You kind of got to,
Yeah,
because they were by far the best winning team in the league.
yeah.
And I think we can all agree that Tyler Hero deserves Sixth Man of the Year. I don't think
Yeah,
there
he was bugging
any.
off the bench. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think there was any arguments with that. He's just a player coming off the bench that happened to have starting stats.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
What others?
do I think he was the most impactful sixth man? No, but definitely Sixth Man of the Year.
Do you know who the runner-ups were?
I'm about to say, what other 6-man were they?
I know Jordan Clarkson did not
I
perform
wanna-
like he did
Yeah,
last
he
year.
played like shit.
No,
Or
yeah, I
2
was
years
gonna
ago.
say I want to say I think Cam Johnson was one of them on the Suns, and
Yeah, I
the
could
other
see that.
one,
Yeah.
I could
I
definitely
believe
see
they
that.
threw Jordan Clarkson on there anyway. But the most interesting
tough.
part is that
Yeah.
Kevin Love was not advertised as top 3, and he came in second.
Really?
In 6 man. Well, yeah, he was averaging.
Kevin
Yeah,
Love.
he was.
He was going
was.
off. Yeah. For a bench player, he was actually finally
I think it-
accepting the role of a bench guy.
If the Cavs finished above play, and I think he probably would have gotten more votes and maybe more attention. Because
Yeah,
he
but
really was a huge part. That veteran presence off the
100%.
presence off the bench was definitely huge.
But I just feel like that award was far and away here, like heroes all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Marcus Smart wins NBA Defensive Player of the Year. I personally loved it. It was nice seeing a point guard win the award.
That is,
I
I did
definitely
like
think
that a guard finally
He
won.
was,
Finally.
yeah. And as you saw in the playoffs, he was very instrumental to the defense of that team. I think it was well deserved, all the hard work that he's put in over the years. I'm glad it wasn't Rudy Gobert's bitch ass.
No, because he can only guard certain players. Like, he can only guard players who
Yeah.
only play the paint.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
And
It gives-
Bridges, I think that the big difference between Bridges and Smart was that Bridges, he still lets the star absolutely manhandle him, whereas
Yeah.
Smart, I think, does
He doesn't
make a
have as
bigger-
much
Marcus
threat.
Smart is more of a dog. Way more
Yeah.
of a dog than
See,
Miles
the
Bridges.
only contest I have for that award is Marcus Smart wasn't really injured much of the year. He was, I'm pretty sure, healthy the whole year. Maybe a couple games here or there. But
I think he fell apart in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't even give a fuck about the playoffs. I'm talking about like regular season awards here. The first half of the year when they were bad, they were low 500, out of a playoff spot, this, that, and the third. Robert Williams was injured most of the first half of the year. Once he came back is when they started really going the fuck off, and he can guard 2 through 5 in my opinion. He can switch. He can switch out onto smaller guards because he's a smaller center. And I honestly think he's the reason they turned themselves around. So that's why when he won it, I was happy when Smart won it because they don't give small guys enough credit on defense. But I honestly think this year it should have been, I think it should have been Robert Williams. And I think in the top 3 voting, Gobert get the fuck out of there and Robert Williams can get in there.
Yeah. I don't know about all that.
So,
I don't know about all that. But my thing is it.
My whole Smoke my whole soliloquy over here.
I was just like, yeah, man.
Dude just loves Robert Williams, I guess. But Robert Williams was definitely had a big impact on them for sure. But this is what it came down to me, which is why Rudy Gobert wasn't even a factor in this to me at all. It really became down between Marcus Smart and Mikal Bridges, and this is why. Today's basketball, Rudy Gobert probably would have won it 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago. You feel me? But in today's basketball, it's a very guard-driven league. It's a very outside-driven
100%.
league. Perimeter defense is kind of what you need the most.
It's vital, yeah.
You feel me? It's very vital.
Gobert can't do
he
it.
definitely can't. He really
Yeah,
can't.
he gets
but
exposed
now
every playoffs.
it comes down to who's the better perimeter defender between Marcus Smart and Mikal Bridges. Like I said, I would 100% go after Mikal Bridges before I would even think to go after Marcus Smart if I'm a ball handler with the ball in my hand. You feel me? Marcus Smart isn't somebody you would want to be guarded by. He's physical, more physical than Mikal Bridges is. He has more defensive technique than Mikal Bridges has. He has a bigger IQ or a better IQ defensively than Mikal Bridges has. So that's why to me it was kind of a no contest.
I'm cool with either of the Celtics winning it. It's just
And
as
it
long
was
as it was one of them.
I feel like Marcus Smart again. He can, especially since today's NBA is like much smaller. Generally,
Yeah,
Marcus
He
Smart
can
has
guard.
the ability to guard 1 through 5.
yeah.
Mikal Bridges can't. He's too small to guard the 5s. He's not strong enough to guard the 5s.
Yeah, he's skinny. He's a skinny guy.
Marcus Smart.
And I think it's a testament to Monty Williams as well for Mikal Bridges' success. Monty Williams, I hope the Suns. Well, I don't care what the Suns do realistically, but the Suns, they better hope they don't let Monty Williams go if they don't do what they got to do this season again, because I think he's finally developed a system that works and works really well, but I don't think it's a system that's going to win a championship unless it has different players in that system.
Yeah.
Because it works, but there's those players that are there. I don't know. Maybe we see a different side of the Suns this year, but anyway, Ja Morant falsely wins Most Improved Player.
Yeah.
When you're
Fake.
a star,
Honestly, I had a whole problem with the entire top 3 in that voting.
what was the
What was it?
what
It
was
was
the top 3 on that?
it was Ja,
It
DeJounte
was
Murray,
him.
and the other one I didn't have too much of a problem with. Who was it? Tyrese Maxey, I believe.
Tyrese Maxey.
No, he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
It was Darius Garland.
Yeah, Darius Garland I didn't have too much of a problem with because he actually did
I didn't
perform
even
very
have a
well this
problem with
season.
Murray.
But it really should have been between Darius Garland, Tyrese Maxey, and Jordan Poole. There was
Yes.
no debate in that to me. I personally
Yeah,
felt like
100%.
Jordan Poole should have won the Most Improved Player because to me, in my eye test, he was 100% the Most Improved Player. But the only argument for Ja was that he went from scoring, 18 points a game to 28 points a game, so he jumped, 10 points a game, but we expected him to take that jump, which is why I'm not understanding, but the NBA is trying very hard to push Ja right now.
Nobody saw Poole jumping out to that. And given, Poole wasn't my winner in, my board. He was in the top 3, but he wasn't my winner. I had Garland as winning it. Because he flat out showed, that's his team, 100%.
Yeah, if it was out of those 3, I'm
But
still shocked
Poole
that it wasn't Garland.
should have been in the top 3. And because no one thought he was about to be a vital piece to a championship.
I was about to say, that was my reasoning for him being my winner, was the fact that I already foreseen it, that if he even kept playing close to the level that he was in the regular season during the playoffs, he was going to be that vital piece to a championship team. And he ended up being exactly that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I don't think Josh should have won it. It was, it's like you said, they're really putting his name out there. They're
and like I said,
dragging it
DeJounte Murray was just mad random. He did, his numbers did improve, but not more than the
became an
other 2
all-star
guys
of this
that
team.
remained. But how many people had to get hurt for him to become an all-star?
I think the West was weaker this year. But I think my three were Garland, Poole, and Murray. I didn't have Ja anywhere in mine just because we saw that coming, 100%.
Yeah, and it's so my take on this whole thing is that it's confusing. Like this award has been built on people that have really changed their game and have really like improved from something to completely something else. Because looking at the history of the award, I mean, last year Julius Randle, perfect example. Year before that, Brandon Ingram. Year before that, Siakam. Year before that, Oladipo. Year before that, Giannis. Year before that, C.J. McCollum. These are all players that really did take a leap in their game and really did change what we had all... We kind of ran all those guys. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could say that, yeah, we knew that Brandon Ingram was going to be good, but it went from him being a question mark
I'm about to say,
definite.
he had a really slow start, though. That's why he won most improved.
Julius Randle, it went from you're a role player to, okay, now you successfully led the New York Knicks of all teams to the playoffs. You know, whatever happened after.
C.J. McCollum,
Siakam,
for him, it was Aldridge left, Batum left, and he was able to be a good sidekick to Lillard and still bring him to the playoffs.
But no one had C.J. McCollum in their cards as a top player.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, some people
he came
like
up out of
me
nowhere and was able to still keep the Trailblazers relevant with Lillard when everyone left the fucking team. That's what I'm agreeing with what you're saying.
Yeah, and then people like me and V-Man who saw Giannis's stardom for whatever reason from a mile away, no one really... You'd look at this guy and it'd be like, how does he become the best player in the league? And he took that leap that year to show us.
Yeah, I never saw what he is now.
Indiana.
But I knew he was going to be a good
Like,
player. I never saw what Giannis is now.
Oladipo took a step from role player to star.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he ended
Two-way
up
star,
injured
too.
again, but all of this happened. But Ja Morant went from being really good and we knew that to really good and we knew that. So it was like, okay, is he the most improved? His stats say yeah, but like the story, no, because we knew he was gonna do this.
Yeah.
We all knew. We all knew DeJounte Murray was gonna have a great year. Garland, we knew he was a good player, but we didn't know he was gonna propel Cleveland. But at the end of the day, did he propel Cleveland? Because they still finished ninth.
And this is another thing to me about the whole...
They're a young team. He propelled Cleveland.
This is another thing to me.
They still finished ninth.
Yeah, when the year before they finished what, like 13th? Like it's improvement.
Right, but for whatever, all that aside, it's Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's my pick. I don't even care about a Tyrese Maxey. I don't care about anybody else. It's Jordan Poole. This guy went from G League last year. We had no idea what I was disappointed to see this guy on the court. I wanted him out the league. I wanted him off the Warrior. I hated that guy. I thought he was so overrated because he was good in college. But he turned that around and now I love him. Pool party, baby.
And it's like, my thing is with the whole Ja thing is like another reason, a testament to why your numbers even look like that is because you're in a team that is literally tailored to you.
Built around you.
Jordan Poole is in a system with many other great players.
And also
all-time great players. This is nowhere near his team, especially not ranked the second.
100%.
So, Scotty Barnes, my guy,
Hot take.
wins Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, Scotty Barnes is quickly becoming one of my favorite players in the league. He might end up being my favorite player.
Scotty Barnes is a dog.
Yeah, for sure.
He's exciting to watch. I'm glad that he ended up winning it. I mean, his game we watched it evolve throughout the year. It was a very fast evolving game that he
100%.
was showing off as the season went along. He averaged way more than his, because he finished with 15, 7.5, and 3.5.
Yeah.
But he definitely played way higher.
He affected the game
season.
way more than that.
Yeah.
Like, his numbers don't even show how much he affected that team.
And big shout out to Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley,
dog as
good
well.
rookie year. I just definitely think in regards to the Raptors winning games, this is exactly what the Raptors needed because they're in this weird spot where they're coming off of that championship win. They still have some of the pieces. They still can compete on any given night. But obviously the Raptors needed that one driving force to push them over the edge again. It's early in his career, so I don't think he's going to do it just yet. But he's shown us that he can be that driving force because they got all the way up to 5th. And overall, as his game develops, as he improves, as the Raptors continue go on, I'm excited, and I think he's going to be that driving force.
Yeah, I got no argument with Rookie of the Year. I was either saying it should be easily Scotty Barnes or Mobley. I got no problem that Scotty Barnes won. They both were doing really good this year. And yeah, I think Cade was third. And if Cade had played like he did the second half of the season all year long, he would be far and away it. But he's a point guard, a rookie point guard. The first half of the season, he was buns. But
Two people gave votes to Franz Wagner.
Franz Wagner was good, but not
better
Rookie
than
of
those
the Year.
three,
No, he's not.
Bro,
He was a surprise though. He was way better than Jalen Suggs this year.
my thing
Way
was,
better.
I don't have any arguments with this.
Yeah,
Honestly,
not at
to
all.
me, this is pretty much based off of preference. It's either you like Scotty or you like Evan Mobley. You're not really wrong for either because they both, respectively, are dogs. But honestly, the winning of the award pretty much came down to the seeding of both. I feel like if the Cavs would have, if they would have performed up to what they were doing the first half of the season, Evan Mobley probably would have been the Rookie of the Year. But since the Raptors ended up with the better record and stuff, and Scotty Barnes ended up contributing a little bit more to it, then yeah, the Scotty Barnes is definitely the Rookie of the Year. I have no arguments with
100%.
that.
Yeah, no arguments. It's one of the only ones they
And
got
honestly,
right.
the league is in some good hands. I know we're coming right back to it. We keep coming back to this point, but it's in good hands because the last 5 Rookie of the Years, when you look at it, Scotty Barnes, LaMelo Ball, Ja Morant, Luka, and Ben Simmons. Now Ben Simmons, laugh. Go ahead, but I think once this guy finally gets his shit together, he's gonna be.
He was an all-star. He was an all-defensive player. Like, people got to calm down with the hate on him.
The shit about Ben Simmons
And
is
they
just
just
like,
got to
bro,
accept what he is.
we know you can play basketball, bro.
Yeah.
Just fucking play basketball.
sad.
We know you can play.
That's it.
I enjoy watching his game.
I
Even without
love
a shot,
watching
I
Ben
enjoy
Simmons.
watching.
Fuck,
him
nigga,
play.
I watched Ben Simmons that has dropped 40 already. Like, we
Right.
know you can play the game, bro. Just play. What the fuck you acting so self-conscious for? Like,
Which gets me more and more mad at Kevin Durant because it's like, force this guy on the fucking court, man.
Right.
Force your people to play ball. Force your teammates.
But like we
It's
said
crazy. Just
last
get your
episode,
teammates to show up to their job.
he doesn't want to be a leader, bro. He
Yeah.
wants to just go and
I
ball.
know.
He don't care who goes on the court with him. I mean, he does, but like, he's not about to go talk to Ben Simmons like.
But at any point, if
one-on-one,
you're Kevin
and-
Durant, you could have gotten that wine bottle out, put in a couple of ice cubes in it, poured some wine in it, handed it to Kyrie, set a fire, set up a real cozy environment, and been like, hey, man, can you please get your vaccine so you can play the game of basketball?
real
I
quick,
need help.
real quick.
I want to win.
You put ice cubes in your wine?
I knew that was coming.
I mean,
I knew that was
why
coming.
not? Is that...
That's not normal. You usually have just a very basic glass or regular glass. You just pour it in. I've never seen ice cubes with wine.
Pause, but like I gotta take care of my throat.
Hey,
Wine can be rough.
Hey, yo.
Down your throat, that's
Hey, yo. All right.
oh,
All right.
that
All
was
right.
some
All
buck
right. All
wild.
right. He's
Alright,
wild.
so the MVP.
Ah, here
the
it
MVP
is.
Here we
Here
go with
it
this shit.
is.
Here we go with this
I'm
shit.
happy
Very
that we
well
all got.
deserving.
No.
This award has lost so much value.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Fraudulent.
much value.
So
This is-
I'm gonna give my take here. I know we're all in agreement that Jokic didn't deserve it, and
100%.
for me, big shout out to Jokic though. At the end of the day,
Phenomenal
I'm not gonna be a
player
total
still.
dickhead and not appreciate that he did have a 27-14.
Nah, what he's
and
doing is
18.
wild for sure.
It is.
For sure.
And to not have those teammates around you, it is what it is. Even though I believe he's still the one running the ball so that, these results are going to happen, and they're going to happen more because they're not around you. But regardless, he wins the MVP. phenomenal season, historic season. I believe there was a stat that he broke out there somewhere. I didn't care that much to know which one. It was like 15,000 and or something. It was a lot of numbers put together. And Wilt was involved. So anything that you do better than Wilt was impressive.
No, you can do better. You just
But-
did it with Will.
It
The only
sucks.
players to do something.
It absolutely sucks that for the second year in a row, the MVP is going to someone that just outlasted everybody else.
Yeah.
Wasn't the best player, but the one that just outlasted.
Yeah.
And
You know
it
what's
also
crazy?
sucks that this specific year is the one that Joel Embiid should have been named your MVP.
With like 2 years ago when he first won it, I could see it. Yeah, Joel Embiid did get hurt midseason, this and the third. Yeah, he outlasted everybody. Everybody got hurt. And Jokic did bug out. And their team was good. Everyone was healthy. It was good. I get that. This year, he literally only played 6 more games than Joel Embiid. It wasn't even like Joel Embiid got injured, OD, and they just were like, all right, he didn't get enough games played in, we're giving it to Jokic. No. They literally just gave it to Jokic for storyboat reasons because his team was injured. But he was literally only a 6th seed. And given the 6th seed in the West compared to the 4th seed in the East was only like 3 or 4 games difference. But it's just like, I don't get where it was clear cut in a way, Joel Embiid's.
I'm about to say, this is the thing to me. Jokic got it because his teammates were hurt. Embiid didn't
That's
even
it.
have teammates to be hurt and to begin with.
Yeah, when he started off the season, it was him, Maxey.
Right.
Because
It was
Tobias Harris
just-
was not playing good in the beginning of the season. It was him and Maxey. A second-year player, Maxey.
So, I feel like I'm about to go on a tirade because here's I'm sorry, like I don't know. This subject got me heated. This is the one. So
As it should.
let's look at all the scenarios that played out for this guy to win MVP, right? Because at the beginning of the year, it was KD versus Steph, and it was
Oh, for sure.
exciting that we
By
thought
far,
that was
by
going to happen,
far.
right?
They was wild.
Steph shot himself into a slump because he was
OD.
chasing a record.
OD. He was bad for like a
And
good 2.5 months. by
Kevin Durant
3.
got hurt. So Kevin Durant gets hurt and Steph gets into a slump, right? Boom. LeBron James just happened to be on the Lakers and not a winning team.
Yeah, 'cause he was bugging
Okay,
the fuck
boom.
out.
There's the other scenario. Because if the Lakers were a winning team, if they were the 6th seed, LeBron's.
Oh,
You know
for
how
sure.
weak
100%.
the MVP race was at one point this year? No offense to DeMar DeRozan, but when they were a 4 seed, DeMar DeRozan was 3rd in MVP voting at one point.
Bullshit. Literally.
Anyway,
Literally, bull. Shit.
Ja Morant got injured and missed some games. He probably would have been way higher on this list if he didn't miss those games.
Yeah.
Luka was a Maverick. Giannis, they just didn't want to give it to Giannis. I think Giannis this year is probably a good. The LeBron effect is on him now because now it's like
Yeah,
okay,
They don't wanna
Gian,
give it-
Giannis's resume would have been way too good, way too quick if they would have
Yeah.
given it. that.
And Jokic,
and
yeah,
Joel
they're,
Embiid.
they're not about to let
They
Jokic
just
win
didn't
either
wanna
next
give it.
year because they don't want somebody to
They
get
just
all
didn't-
that.
They just didn't want to give it to Embiid. And it sucks because a lot of us push for Embiid because of his story, and the story was not as good as it's going to get this year unless they win a championship.
he's probably
you're
never
coming
gonna
into
get a
the
chance.
season, and the guy that's supposed to be your right-hand man, the guy that's supposed to help you bring a championship to Philadelphia completely quits on your team, Ben Simmons. On top of that, as V-Man said, it was just him and Maxey for a while because Tobias Harris was struggling very hard. Embiid had to put up some real crazy
Insane
performances
numbers,
for
bro.
this team.
Yeah, he was bugging, bro.
And he got them at one point. They were, I think, a top 2 seed.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And in the other regards, I believe what Jokic had around him was better or at least comparable to what Embiid had around him.
For sure.
Towards the
Because
end of the year, They had G League
Jokic had
on
players
their
around
teams.
him that could feed his system. Jokic always has had players around him that could feed his system of
Up
basketball. Embiid had to just go out there and just be a madman.
Up until Philly got James Harden, they didn't have a better player than Aaron Gordon. Jokic had Aaron Gordon all year.
Aaron Gordon played like shit last year, though. I'm gonna keep it a steady.
Not too bad though. He was still effective.
Nah, he did. Yeah, he did okay.
He was definitely still
Thomas is funny.
a hell of a lot better. He was more consistent throughout the season than fucking Tobias Harris.
Tobias Harris, yeah.
Like
yeah.
he was way better
Tobias
in the first
did
half of
pick
the
it up.
season than
Tobias did
Tobias
pick it up in
Harris
the
was.
playoffs, though. Tobias played good in the playoffs.
But it sucks. It sucks that all those scenarios had to absolutely play out for this guy to win the MVP. And at the same time, Joel Embiid, he won the fucking scoring title. He's a better defender.
Way better
like
defender.
how? Okay, down the stretch of this season and into the playoffs, Jokic was removed from games at the end of the game
Yes.
because they needed better defense on the floor. How is that in any regards valuable? I mean, I get the other stuff is valuable, but at the end of the day, how can you look at that player and give him an MVP vote? How?
Yeah.
Embiid is playing every minute on the floor. He's got you on both ends, and
Playing through
it's good what
injuries.
Jokic does. But you're on the sidelines coaching your team while they're about to do the final play instead of being in the final play, and
Yeah.
you're telling me that's fucking valuable? I get it compared to other people, but compared to Embiid, what?
Yeah, it was kind of it's outlandish that he
I
didn't
mean,
get it.
when you look at it like that, then I'm not giving it to him over Giannis neither.
Yeah.
But I already had it like that anyway. Like I said, he was already third on my MVP vote.
You know what's crazy, low key? Last 2 years, the MVP race has been those three. That's 2 years in a row where the MVP race is 3 foreign players. The league is getting international, baby.
Foreign poppies.
And then Luka's gonna be in that bitch in a couple
Oh
years.
yeah,
International, baby.
Nah, Luke is gonna be in that conversation next season for sure.
Depends on how good the team is, but
So-
yeah.
Nah, he's gonna be in that
Before
conversation
Before we move on, I'm going to give you guys the irrelevant draft fact of the day.
We
So,
love this.
in 2010, I'm taking us back a little bit. In 2010,
for
guess who the
2010.
You went to
76ers
05
took?
last year.
Okay,
But
yeah, that's fair. 2010, guess who they picked with their number 2 pick in the draft? Evan Turner.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
he
hated
ended
that
up in
guy.
his career. In his career, he did average an impressive 9.7 points a game, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.5 assists.
He was such a bad shooter, bro.
The
But
NBA is hard, guys.
the 76ers, they could have drafted DeMarcus Cousins. They could have drafted Paul George. They could have drafted F.K. Udoh. They could have drafted Al Farouk Aminu. They could have drafted Greg Monroe. But no, they drafted Evan Turner. And that's all I got for you.
That's sad. That's sad. Bro, I really hated that guy, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I really had a strong dislike for Evan Turner, bro. Like, even in like 2K, I hated him in 2K. Like, you ever just have that player you don't like?
Because they don't do shit.
Yeah, like Evan Turner. Evan Turner was just that guy for me. Like, I just didn't like him.
Yeah, Evan Turner never... He could get you some assists for a forward,
I don't even know what the fuck he did. Like,
but, like, he couldn't score the ball well at all.
I know he could dunk.
He was
He
a
was
terrible
athletic a
shooter.
little bit. He was athletic a little bit, but like,
A little bit, a tad.
nah, he was athletic. He was actually pretty
And-
athletic.
He was a big old goofball. If that year ends with a championship, that kind of gets rid of the sour taste that was left behind.
There's
from all the
nothing
drama.
that you can't smooth over after.
I 100% agree with that, but I think KD is such a... For lack of a better word, he's a prima donna.
I thought Matt was gonna be like, he's such a
No, he's a prima
bitch.
donna, and like, bro, his feelings get hurt. OD, bro. Just from Twitter, that man be having tantrums. So for guy
Listen,
who's saying,
if I'm in the if I'm in the middle of an intense ass game and you tell me
well,
I don't
exactly.
belong here, I'm
We
like,
won
"Oh,
before. We won
Jesus."
without you. We don't need you. You're a bitch. This and a third. Like that puts a crazy mindset on you, to where like I don't. I think regardless he leaves because he wanted to prove himself.
Again, that could easily be smoothed over as, nigga, I'm just trying to motivate you.
I think I could. I think you could. I think he could. I don't think KD would because he's
And
a prima
honestly,
donna.
I think it was water under the bridge. I definitely think it was water under the bridge. It's just when you sit down and you think of a free agency decision, those things come back up in your memory, and it
Yeah,
played a
but
part.
Kyrie is his best
But I
friend.
think it did make up. It did
All
fun.
like in the league, Kyrie is his best friend, and Kyrie was whispering to him the whole year about joining up together, and this is finally going to be your chance to say you got a ring your way, and it wasn't in the Warrior system, and he wanted to get a ring without everyone scrutinizing him about being a snake or going the easy way out.
Only thing I got left to say on Kevin Durant is I just hope it works out for him. If it doesn't, you fucked up bad.
Oh
my
yeah,
boy.
yeah, 100%. I think he should have stayed with the Warriors for his legacy, but
The more we travel through time, the more that because I'm a KD fan, obviously he's my favorite player, and the more we travel through time, that's kind of my thought process too. It's like I'm hoping this works out because if it
you
doesn't,
look like you fumbled the bag, bro.
Like, right now, you have to at least match their one.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah,
to.
they got one
'Cause
without
if,
you.
he reminds
If
me a
you,
lot.
because
of,
if you don't, they literally own your entire career.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry, they do.
I feel, and this is gonna be a really weird comparison, but as much as I've studied on Wilt Chamberlain, KD kind of is having like a similar career trajectory where he's the most talented player in the league. I think we can agree that he was for a while there, that because he was just this almost 7 foot guy that can shoot. But his selfishness got in the way, and he won his 2 championships. Yeah, but didn't leave the legacy, to leave the impact that he should have.
You know what's tough though? When Wilt went to the Lakers, man, they made the finals so many times just to get smacked by the fucking Celtics. And then and they had Elgin Baylor, they had Jerry West, they had Gail Goodrich, they had a good team around them and shit. But it's just like they couldn't compare to the Celtics. And then the year
That's
my boy Elgin Baylor retires is the one year they win. So Elgin never got one. It's tough.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Poor guy. Listen, Will average 50 points a game and 26 rebounds a game. I don't want to hear nothing. That's just imagine just averaging 50 points a game. Like you just know you're gonna show up to the arena as a fan and watch Will drop 50. Like you just that is a guarantee on like more than 75% of the games that are
It
gonna
would
be
just
played.
be my luck on
He's
the
gonna score.
night that I'm there. He just scores 9.
Holy fuck.
Just like a plumber senior just out there just like fucking locking them down somehow, some way. Will had too much sex that day. He's just fucking But either way, the Warriors, they won the championship. It was a very beautiful ending to, what could have been a disaster of a playoffs if I feel like it went in a couple different
I
directions.
was happy with the ending.
Jordan
Poole, one last shout out for Jordan Poole from my end.
So
He's
party.
really turned a good lead. He went from one of the players that I absolutely did not like watching to honestly top 3 favorite players
He's
that
a
I love
great
watching. I'm gonna back this guy for a while because he's exciting, and like he just fits in Golden State, and it's just exciting basketball. So I'm happy for the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a dog.
Obviously, as a Steph Curry fan, Steph Curry winning his not even just the championship and the Finals MVP. He had a really historic season as a whole.
Hell yeah.
Like breaking the 3-point record, winning the All-Star Game MVP, the championship, the Finals MVP, the first ever Western Conference Finals MVP. Just accolades after accolades after accolades.
And low-key, it's not even just winning the All-Star game.
What did he
MVP.
win? Sportsman of the Year at the
Something like
ESPYs?
that. But
Like,
it's not even just. It's the way he won the All-Star game MVP, bro.
yeah,
Son bugged the fuck
savage.
out.
savagely. Like,
Imagine being LeBron and having him on your All-Star team and then just pulling up back to LA like, "Yo, Russ, what we doing?"
nah. After playing with him in that game, I would be disgusted to go back to what I had in LA. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, none of y'all niggas can shoot. This man just made 20 fucking 3-pointers in a game, bro. He just made 20 3-pointers. Y'all niggas can't get me 4. Any one of y'all give me 4 and we're great. I promise you.
Well, my final take here is gonna be that while we were on this podcast, a player by the name of Usman Garuba, he's on the Rockets, I believe, in the NBA. He pooped his shorts mid-game.
Are you dead ass? Are we dead ass?
What? What?
No.
What?
What did you do, Usman?
Nah.
What did you do, Usman?
You're capping.
So when Paul Pierce claims that he's led the next generation, he has, because here we are, we have players shitting.
You know what's funny? I don't got a single article about such, so I'm gonna say it's false until I see otherwise.
Why don't you go and look up Usman
did.
Garuba? Are you spelling it right?
Yeah, bro.
Look it up on Twitter.
Okay.
It's all over. Once you go on Twitter, it's a crazy.
I know.
It's
Twitter
one of
is
the craziest
buck wild.
things.
I'm going to Twitter right now. I'm going to Twitter right now.
Yeah, I already
Usman
got it in. Let's
Garuba.
see. Oh, my son Dookie.
Hell, man.
That's crazy.
Not my son Usman Garuba for the Spanish League.
Damn.
Yo, because if he ends up doing anything, it's gonna be a 30 for 30.
My son's shitty.
Yo, I hope he writes a book. Like, I really hope he makes the NBA and everything and writes a book about, like, and then
He's
like
like
this moment
this is like his
highlighted.
second or third year in the league coming up. Like,
Wait,
yeah,
are you
he
fucking
got
serious?
drafted like a year or two ago, bro. Yeah, he's young as fuck.
Oh, he's already played 24
Yeah, I
games.
think last
Okay.
year was his rookie year. Okay, so this year is his second year.
He averaged 2 points on 43% shooting. All right. That's-
Yo, I think he
no.
did it on this fucking dunk.
Oh no, dunk.
He had a dunk in that game.
Oh,
I think he
saw
just
it.
used a little bit too much
yeah,
energy.
All right, with that, I think that's a
way
good.
to-
That's a good point. That's a good point to end our episode. Listen, this is a blast. But honestly, I'm having fun. I'm having a blast.
Oh,
Hope
man.
you guys did too. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, do everything.
we're at that point
We
now.
got a lot more coming.
Like, subscribe, follow.
We're even more than sports. We got a
Okay.
lot coming. Thank you for watching. This is the Built Different podcast. Usman
BDP.
Garuba. Don't do that again.
Bro, he was hitting threes and all that. He was literally shitting on him.
Let's get it.